Hi, I'm Greg Filson, known from the BXG podcast. You can get that anywhere. I'm here to tell you about really great sunglasses from Ambassador Sunglasses. If you need any kind, any style, they really do a representation. Men or women, you'll find a perfect pair, good prices, and with my promo code GTPHILS, all caps, you can get 50% off starting now. Yeah, please go ahead, get yourself a pair, get someone else a pair. They're a really good price. I can't recommend them highly enough. I've been wearing the 4 that I've got all the time, and I get compliments all the time. You will too. Ambassador Sunglasses, ambassador.com. Promo code GTPHILS.
Welcome to the BXG podcast where pop culture and nerd culture meet at the nexus of the universe and are melded as seamlessly as trips around the world, around the globe, some would say. This is episode 69. I am one of your hosts. I am one of your hosts, Brenton Bestwick, alongside my co-host, a 13-year-old boy, Greg Filson.
Oh, glad to be here, Brenton. Just happy to be here. Wasn't just doing my Mickey Mouse voice for that.
I thought you were doing Pinocchio. That's who you sounded like.
Oh yeah, Pinocchio or Mickey Mouse. Yeah, either way. I'm doing fine, Brenton. Glad to be here. Glad we're on the bookend of we're putting our right arm around a person now for that full hug of the weekend. So I'm glad everyone's listening. We got that full hug, that full embrace. So here we go. How are you, Brenton?
I'm great. It's great to be here. We're doing this is our Monday episode, so it's kind of just shooting the shit. There's no real big topic. There's no like news. There's no reviews or anything. It's just kind of a theme show, I guess. And
this is sitting at the bar discussing what things are like.
Kind of. So the theme, well, first of all, BXG Podcast publishes every Friday at 9 a.m. on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, and other podcast services around the globe. You can catch us on social media, facebook.com/BXG Podcast, Instagram @BXG Podcast, @GTFills, @Y2B, Twitter @BXG Podcast, @GTFilson, @Y2B, or our YouTube channel, BXG Podcast, where you can see Book of Boba Fett, The Matrix, Resurrections, Don't Look Up, other reviews, pizza reviews, Oreo reviews. The BXG Awards are coming soon. Tell your mothers. And all your regular friends too.
Everybody else too, yeah.
Yeah.
Tell your mothers to tell their friends too.
So the theme of this week's episode is we both had some trips here in the last week. So
yours more extensive than mine, but still good.
Right. So you went to, so this is like BXG around the globe, around the world.
Around the, well, I mean, it's like around the United States, we're bookending the, I lived in Alaska, but, so Janie and I went to LA, and really the first traditional LA trip in a while for a nice dinner, just to celebrate the season. Now, people will talk about, it rains everywhere, but it doesn't really rain in Southern California. So we went down there, and we got a third of the year's rainfall in a week and a half here in Southern California. Now, that doesn't seem like a lot, but when you live in an area where it doesn't rain a lot and people are already bad at driving to begin with, especially here in Santa Barbara, when it rains, it pours idiots. And It was so normally a trip that would take us maybe an hour and a half to get to LA, and we always make like a stop somewhere just along the way, but it took us about 2.5 hours to get there. We spent 45 minutes from our house to get through And I know a lot of people may not know, but to get through Carpinteria, if the roads are relatively clear, that's about a 15-minute trip, but it took us about 45 minutes. Traffic is a thing in here in Southern California, whether you live in Santa Barbara, Los Angeles, San Jose area, the traffic's really bad there too. But what I'll say is we made our way down. The rain was heavy. It was rough. It was a little weird because just, you deal with a lot of people who know how to drive. We make our way down to LA, and when you're driving through LA, you realize I'm going to have some sort of parking situation. And I've had my car broken into twice in LA. It was not fun. You don't want your car broken into ever. Fortunately, like both times I had my car broken into, nothing like extremely valuable was ever taken. A few personal items that were just, heartfelt, but nothing really bad. So you're always a little skeptical parking in LA. And then about a month or so ago, the police are like, we can't protect you anymore. Which I never thought the police could protect us to begin with, but that's a whole different thing. But in LA, there's like, we can't protect you anymore. The vandalism's crazy. So I was like, well, what do we, I'm thinking, we're going to this restaurant. It's in Hollywood, West Hollywood. It was Horses is the name of the restaurant. It opened about a month and a half, 2 months ago. Very cool restaurant, very hip, in the know here in Southern California. I was excited to get a reservation. And I think I made the reservation about 5 weeks before we actually went. So we're driving down, go to West Hollywood, and it's a little bit of a drive, a little more of a drive than I expect in West Hollywood. And I know it's a story. It's like people are like, what, West Hollywood? So normally you think of West Hollywood, there's like you're on the Sunset Strip, and all you see is like glitz and glamour. It's the Times Square area of Los Angeles, realistically. A lot of stuff happening. A lot of it's not very good. Some of it is very good, but it's almost like hidden places. Not necessarily prostitution, just like really expensive places with not a lot of reward is more the thing. It's more like, here, let me go to this bar because this famous person owns it. Let me spend $20 for this drink, and it's mostly cranberry juice. That's kind of the LA West Hollywood institution. Now, you do love it because there is a vibe. There's a vibe with most Hollywood places. Musso and Frank's has a nice vibe. There's Pig and Whistle before it got shut down, had a nice vibe. Or closed up, they didn't get shut down. So, but Horses is this new fad in LA, and I was very excited. A couple of things people I listened to in LA were excited about it. So I was like, I gotta go. So we're making it, and we're like, I'm driving out. It is like West LA. Or West Hollywood. This is almost traveling into where I used to live, into West LA, Brentwood area, where we live was nice, but there's like this in-between area that's not like bad or anything. There's nothing bad about it. There's just not a lot there. So finally I see the restaurant, and I was like, well, where are we going to park? So in LA, parking is minimum $30. That's just, if you valet, you're paying $20 to valet, and you got to give the guy a tip. And you also have to hope he doesn't park your car 3 cars behind someone else, and you're stuck there waiting 20 minutes. So, there's always that stress of this. And I already drove 2 hours and 45 minutes. That's a heck of a drive for not that long of a distance. And I'm driving down the road, and I see local street parking. This is just, and usually that's blocked off, for whatever reason. Not blocked off. I got a nice parking space right there. You see a homeless person about 20 yards away, but this guy's completely out of his mind. He's fine. So we get in there. The place is awesome. It's very old school. It's like based off of like a French bistro kind of thing. Whatever, if you're into that. So Janie and I are waiting to get our table. We got there a little early because I like to get to a restaurant early, even though, we left very early so that we can make it there semi-early, but whatever. And we sit in there, and there's this gentleman directly across the opposite end of the bar while we're having a cocktail before dinner. And Jane's like, is that Francis Ford Coppola? And I look at him, and I'm like, well, I know what Francis Ford Coppola looks like in my mind. So I look him on my phone, see what he looks like now. I see this gentleman down there. I look at my phone, I'm doing a comparison. I'm like, this may be Francis Ford Coppola. This is a very hip restaurant. He's by himself.
How old is he now?
82, 83.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's not young.
And he's having a good
hip restaurants.
Yeah, well, he's still a hip guy. And he's having a good repartee with the bartender. So I was like, ooh, this guy, he's in it, maybe a little, I don't know. We're talking Godfather. We're talking something. And we're both very much thinking this is Francis Ford Coppola. Don't think much after. We go and we have our dinner. It's beautiful. It's nice dinner. Great dinner. Good wine selection. Good cocktails. I recommend the burger if you're there. I recommend the burger. My daughter's wedding,
and you don't even call me godfather.
Exactly. So, I'm on the gram after we come home, and I'm checking horses out. I'm doing the place location. I'm doing them, their actual thing. And I think it's about 11:46 p.m. our time here. And I see, a location tab here. So you got to do a little more digging if you're doing location tab. And I see the bartender said, "Hey, thanks, Rich, for showing up tonight. Glad you're always here." And it's a picture of the guy that I think is Francis Ford Coppola, or we think is Francis Ford Coppola. And he's just calling him Rich. Now I'm like, well, you know who's Rich? Francis Ford Coppola. I still believe it is Francis Ford Coppola until someone tells me different. It's Francis Ford Coppola. We're in the presence of greatness. That's horses. That's LA. I love LA. I'm sad that COVID will probably shut things down in LA. I have a John Mayer concert coming up in March. Who knows what will happen? John Mayer got COVID.
Not anymore, you don't.
Yeah, so things are looking iffy. I'm glad we were able to do it when we did. I will say LA is very stringent. They do ask for your they want to see your vaccine card when you're going anywhere. So I had that. I had my 4 shots. The lady was probably like, "What the hell's going on here?" But ID, vaccination, good to go. If you want to go to LA, do it now. If you're in this area, do it now, because I'm guessing 2 weeks from now you're not going to be able to do anything. So that's my trip. It was a quick trip. Santa Barbara to LA is a quick trip. A little Mad Men trip for some people out there. But
did you stay down there?
No, we didn't stay down there. We were going to, but logistically we had other things we had to do, so it just didn't work out. But it's a beautiful city. I love it. When you come out here, Brenton, we'll do a day in LA. It's fun. I'll do the driving.
That kind of ties into my trip, because I do want to do Disneyland in California.
Oh yeah, you gotta do Disneyland.
That's and I think I'd like to do like a couple days, like 2 or 3 days there, just so I can try to get everything in to Disneyland, because there's Disneyland proper, there's California Adventure.
Yeah. I've never done California Adventure, actually.
That's where Adventures is?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, but I was at I was in Orlando from New Year's Eve day to today. Actually, it's kind of surreal. Like, you think about like long vacations like that, and you're in one place that's far away from where you live. And like this morning I woke up and it was already like 70 degrees. It's 6:45 in the morning, and I step out from our room and I know what I'm coming home to. So I have like a hoodie and joggers on, and I'm carrying all this luggage, and I'm sweating my ass off, and everybody's looking at me probably like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? And then, I step off out of the terminal in Pittsburgh, and it's 17 degrees and snowing. It's
no
so
bueno.
It was really, it is kind of like not even 12 hours ago. We hadn't even taken off yet. So it is kind of surreal, but yeah, New Year's Eve to yesterday, the 5th was really our last day. I mean, today we were there, but we just woke up and left. So we did, and I don't think you knew just how big Disney World is.
No, I didn't. Like, Janie had been there, but I don't know. There's no way for me to.
So just for perspective, the property at Disneyland is 500 acres. The property at Disney World in Orlando is 43.2 square miles. Now, a lot of that's resorts, and they've got the 4 big parks, and they've got Disney Springs, and they've got like ESPN Wide World of Sports is down there, and there's like mini golf places, and there's 2 water parks, one of which was operating when we were there. But the main course is, Magic Kingdom. The Magic Kingdom parking lot is so big that you can fit Disneyland in it. That's how big.
As Magic me, yeah.
Yeah. So Magic Kingdom, Hollywood Studios, Epcot, and Animal Kingdom. And so it was the kids' first time. It was my third time going to Disney. And I mean, how do you want me to do this? Give you like a day by day, or?
I would say a day by day. Let's just round it out because I've never been.
So
I would like to know how one does with children a day by day. Food, include the food.
With a lot of additives.
Food may be the most important.
Like a lot of anti-anxiety medications.
Just like on
just taking benzos like they're fucking Skittles.
Nothing wrong with that.
So okay, and this is part of it. We had to wake up at 3:45 on New Year's Eve to get to the Pittsburgh airport to leave. We had a connecting flight to Philly. So we went from Pittsburgh to Philly to Orlando. We got to our rooms, I think at like 3-ish. But the first night we went out to Magic Kingdom. My son wanted to ride Big Thunder Mountain. That's the ride he wanted to ride.
Nice.
We didn't do any Genie on the first night. And so we waited in line for Big Thunder Mountain for about 45 minutes. Then we got something to eat and watched the fireworks. And that was pretty much it because we were all tired from a long day of travel. Second day, we went to Hollywood. Hollywood Studios. He's like, oh, I want to ride the Tower of Terror. So we ride the Tower of Terror and they hated it. I believe it's Guardians of the Galaxy now in Disneyland, like the Tower Drop ride.
Yeah. Well, it's actually that's at California Adventure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think the long-term plan is for them to do that with that one as well, but they haven't started work on that. So we did that. We watched like a Frozen show. That's the other thing is you watch shows. We did a lot of things that we didn't do because they're more geared towards kids. So we hadn't done them in the past. We did like the Disney Junior meet and greet and the Disney Junior dance party and all that stuff. Met characters. They don't have full parades right now. They just have like these pop-up. And I had a lot of this information based on our guest last October. I think it was October. Samantha from the Dole Whip Dish podcast. And I had actually corresponded with her leading up to the trip, and she gave me some more info on like how to use the Genie system, which is basically the Fast Pass, but it's the Fast Pass, which used to be free, is now a paid Fast Pass thing, and it's like a whole thing. So we did that. We went back to Magic Kingdom that night. We rode, oh man, what did we ride there that night? I don't even remember. Dumbo. We met some princesses. We got food at a nice all-you-can-eat buffet called Crystal Palace, which is typically a Winnie the Pooh character meetup, but those characters were not there that day. They're not there at the moment because of COVID. I can't remember the rest of that night. We watched the fireworks from behind the castle while we were doing like the Dumbo ride, and then we walked around kind of the new Fantasyland area, and we did some of that stuff. We did some other like smaller rides or whatever. Nothing too big. The teapots, that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, you did teapots.
Yeah. Day 3, we did Epcot. We rode the Frozen ride. We rode the ride that's in Mexico. We rode the Spaceship Earth, which is the inside the ball. We met Anna and Elsa, which was one of the funnier moments because the attendant's name was Michael. I just happened to catch it on his name tag, and we were told that they would come out at like 12:15 or 2:15 or whatever, and it was 12:15. And then it was 12:20, then it was 12:25, and I said to Melissa, just on the slide, not even thinking that the kids were paying attention, and I said, geez, Michael, why don't you bring the ladies out? And my 6-year-old son yells, hey, Michael, bring the ladies out. And he the guy whips his head around, comes over, and is like, oh, whatever. They're taking their time, trying to play it off or whatever, but that was funny. It was funny when we met. We waited in line like 20 minutes to meet Cinderella and like her glass slippers in the case and everything. And we get up to the front, and my daughter's like, "Who are we meeting?" So that was funny because she's just like she's a wild thing, man.
Yeah, right.
She's something else. So we did that, Epcot. We tried to go, so Disney Springs, the last time we were there, it was called Downtown Disney, and all it was the Cirque du Soleil arena and like Disney Quest and a couple little stores. There's like a Lego store and a couple of, Planet Hollywood, shit like that. And in the almost 10 years since we've been there, a full outdoor mall popped up, and I hate it now.
That's what it is here. It's just like a full outdoor thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it used to not be like that. It was just like a couple of shops, a couple of places to eat, the Cirque du Soleil thing, and now it's like a whole thing. I can't stand it. I'll never go back there. They didn't like it because there was no rides. Sure. That whole, so they fought with us the whole time.
Same. That's how I am too. Where are the rides? Give me rides. I mean, at Disneyland, Disney World, whatever.
Day 4 was Animal Kingdom, and that day, to be honest, was a little bit of a struggle because we kept trying to get on one of the rides, and the time for the Fast Pass kept getting bumped back and back and back. So we just did the safari, which is really cool because you ride through and the animals are right in there with you.
That's cool.
And I didn't get to go on any of the Avatar rides. I know we're not big fans of the Avatar movie,
but the rides would be cool.
The rides are cool, and the area is phenomenal. It's so rad. It's just like so freaking cool looking. And that's the thing about Disney is like, and I think you said it really well in one of our conversations, that a particular ride that I'll talk about here in a second is the perfect theme ride. They're not, the Disney roller coasters and the rides are not thrilling in the same way that like Cedar Point is. Like you're not going to wait at Disney World. You're not going to wait 3 hours for Millennium Force. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just it's a completely different animal. And like one of the things that I noticed was when we were riding Big Thunder Mountain, I'm like observing the scenery as we're riding, and you go around the corner and it starts to, the ride starts to slow down a little bit. And I look kind of like off to my left into where the ride is. And there's like a shack that has no other purpose other than it's completely decorative, right?
Right.
But you can see down into like a window, and there's like a half-played poker game just sitting on a card table in the middle of the shack. And that's the thing that Disney does, is the production value, it's the love and the care. It's the
details.
It's the details. It's them using every square inch of the park to make you feel like you're having an immersive experience in whatever world that is. And with the Avatar thing, like I said, I didn't get to ride any rides, but Pandora looked sweet. And that's one of the things we're going to prioritize when we go back. The next day, which kind of brings me to the next day, and again, in these two particular areas, just the level of immersion in Toy Story Land, where it's all of Andy's toys, and you ride Slinky Dog, and there's like the green soldiers, and they're holding up a glue thing, and there's like instructions for how to put the Slinky Dog coaster together and all that.
That's awesome.
And so great. And then for me, the real, the piece de resistance was Galaxy's Edge, obviously.
Sure.
And it was
what
awesome.
An experience.
Yeah,
right.
It really is and that's what, like, somebody had, like, Melissa posted something, because we had our Star Wars shirts on, because she got us all like custom shirts for when we went to the Star Wars thing. And somebody said, how was the Star Wars stuff? Would a 13-year-old boy like it? And I said, well, if they like Star Wars, they'll like it, because a 37-year-old boy liked it.
Anyone that if you have liking Star Wars, Galaxy's Edge is unbelievable. It's so cool.
It was so with the Genie thing. You pay for Genie every day and get fast pass at select times, or like windows of times for all the rides. But there are some of the rides that are so popular, they make you pay extra for them.
Sure. We
did that for 2 rides. We did it for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, and we did it for Rise of Resistance. So Seven Dwarves was, for all 4 of us, was $40. And for Rise of Resistance, it was $63. And I asked Melissa, I was like, did you like the Seven Dwarves? And she said, yeah. I said, did you $40 like the Seven Dwarves? And she says, I don't know. Did you $60 like Rise of Resistance? I said, I would have paid $100 for Rise of Resistance, and not in like a cocaine heartbeat.
I wouldn't even thought about it. Just whatever, we didn't have to pay extra for it, but
how long did you stand in line though?
So they actually delayed it 3 times. The park closed at 9. We didn't get on the ride till 9:45.
Oh, okay.
So we were in line for I think 2.5 hours, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And at first you're like, when the ride first starts out, you're like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I waited 2.5 hours. I waited 2.5 hours for this, and you're tired. You've had for me, it was the last thing we did. I've had a full day at Disneyland, which is just, like we've talked about, it's an exhaustive day. You put in a lot of miles at Disney. Yeah, either way, whether it's Disney in the open heat, and like I said, it's just, there's something about being in a theme park that also just takes energy out of you in a way, like the thrills, the thinking about what you want to do next, the everything. So we get on the ride, and like you said, and it's like, but then the ride's done, and I don't want to spoil too much because there's still people that haven't done it.
Yeah.
But it is awesome and worth every second that you wait. If you have to wait literally all day the park's open, you're gonna be like, that was worth it. Yeah, that was awesome. It's amazing. It's totally amazing experience.
Because of the individual lightning lane, I waited only maybe 15 minutes from.
That's nice.
Yeah, from the time
we even had the fast pass, but it didn't matter because every single person did too, and it got delayed so many times that actually it built up with all the people that had fast passes for the last 3 hours, and that's what happened. Yeah.
I would say that like when you and I were talking about it after I had done it, you said it's the perfect theme ride, which I agree with. The only thing that could have made it better for me was if it was original trilogy, because and that's a me problem, and I get that, and it's but to me, like Finn and Poe being like, oh, we're gonna rescue you, we promise, is like cool, but not as cool as Han Solo and Chewie coming in to save the day. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, right. I get that. I get that it's a me thing. And it's the same as like the Kylo Ren parts are really cool, but how much cooler would they have been if they were Vader? And so it is what it is, but I give it
almost think if they're Vader
9 out of 10.
I would say if it's Vader, it's actually just almost on a level where it's too scary. If it's Vader. Yeah, I'm not saying that that's what they factored in. I think they did it intentionally, with the new movies. Right. But it's just like, if it's Vader, those scenes are intense. Like, it's so cool and so intense. It's so great.
There's something about with like the difference between Kylo Ren and Darth Vader, and how you would do that in this ride. There's like the part where he like realizes you're there and turns around or whatever.
Yeah,
he's so like long and he's like tall and slender, and he moves in kind of this sort of animalistic way that is kind of unsettling.
Sure.
But you could have done something where just do the end of Rogue One, where just like you just completely black, and then you hear the breathing, and then the light comes, the lightsaber comes.
That's what I mean. Like, I think that freaks out kid. If you have like a 6-year-old in there, that kid is done.
Yeah, he probably should have been. yeah, but it's great. How
did your kids like the ride, Brenton? How did your kids like that ride?
They loved it.
All right, good.
They loved it.
Yeah.
Cam said it was his second favorite ride after Big Thunder Mountain.
Big Thunder Mountain's a riot.
It's
a laugh riot.
It's fine. It's like the world's just like most basic roller coaster.
Sure.
But we did Star Tours. We did not do Smuggler's Run. I had blue milk. I did have some blue milk. It was pretty good. It's a hint of coconut. Yeah. That was the thing about the food, was that I had like 4 or 5 things that had coconut in them. I'm not a big coconut guy, but I actually kind of liked it. So
nice. The green milk's a little weirder than the blue milk, but we did both.
Yeah. We did the droid thing. One of my kids built just classic standard R2D2.
As you should.
The other one built a blue BB unit. It looks pretty cool. Maybe I'll have it for next week. But yeah, I mean, that was fun. And we went back to Epcot that night for Harmonious, the light show that's over there now on the World Showcase thing, which that's pretty much all we did. I think we rode like Nemo or whatever. And then the last day we were just in Magic Kingdom the whole day, and we just did as much as we could. We rode Thunder Mountain again, we rode Pirates, we rode Aladdin, we rode Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, which was really cool. We ate at Liberty Tree Tavern. So that's the other thing is just the food. We had 5 sit downs, all you can eat, 3 of which were family style, where they just bring everything to you and just set it on the plate.
You sent pictures.
Yeah, I sent you
the
2 skillet pictures. So they bring you that and they just sit it out in front of you and just say, whatever you want, just let us know, we'll bring you more. And so
gravy the size of your head.
Yeah, in my opinion, the best of those was at the Garden Grill in Epcot Center, and that was the one that I sent you that had the prime rib and the turkey.
Yeah, that was really good.
That prime rib was amazing. Oh. And then we did a breakfast family style at Chef Mickey's, and all the characters come out and like dance and blah blah blah. And then the last one was the Liberty Tree Tavern, where it's like 2 different kinds of turkey, Pennsylvania pot roast, stuffing, mac and cheese, grilled green beans. Like you said, a gravy boat the size of my arm. And
so good.
Yeah, but other things that are, I had a Dole Whip. I'd never had one before. I had an orange one.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was really good. No doubt. I'm trying to think of
an orange one. I didn't like all you have in Disneyland is just Dole Whip.
Pineapple.
Just straight up Dole Whip.
Yeah. No, this one was it was orange. It was like an orange one.
Okay.
I got it at the tree something terrace, Sunshine Tree Terrace. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. So I mean, we missed some rides. I didn't get to ride Space Mountain. My wife and my son did, and he was horrified. And we didn't get to ride Expedition Everest or the Pandora stuff and a couple other things. But it's real. Like we were there 5.5 days and still didn't. We still probably only got like 60% of the stuff in.
Well, it's it's the size of a small city.
It really is. Yeah. So that was
a great time.
Yeah. But one of the things that we had talked about as you had gone to Disneyland this past summer.
Yes, it sounds crazy. Yeah, it was this past summer. I can't believe it. Yeah.
And then me just getting back from Disney World and us primarily being a TV and movie podcast, we thought we'd go into some of the rides that currently exists in Disneyland and Disney World that do not have a movie, or at least a current movie associated with them. We know that Disney likes to take their rides and make movies out of them, which is why we got 5 Pirates of the Caribbean movies. We got Jungle Cruise. We got Tomorrowland. So I have 3 in particular, like just off the cuff, including stars for them. But what are some of the ones that you think? There's one that I'm honestly surprised it hasn't been announced yet.
Well, for me, I just want a Ratatouille thing. That's
you have the cartoon.
I need the actual ride.
There is a ride.
There is
Disney World. Yeah.
Okay. See, I didn't get to ride it though. Okay, I need the Remy ride.
In Epcot.
That's okay. I need the Remy ride.
Yeah, that's what it is, man.
That's awesome. Yeah. That sounds awesome. I need that. I'm not as well versed with the Disney. I mean, I know the movies and stuff, but I don't have children. So it's like, I'm not as, what's that one you say you're surprised they don't?
So this is, and again, I'm basing this on rides that are currently there that don't necessarily have a movie that is recent or have one at all that is attached to it. I don't know how Big Thunder Mountain starring The Rock hasn't been announced.
Oh,
I mean, just say the 3 words: Big, Thunder, and Mountain, and all 3 of those are pretty closely associated to Dwayne Johnson.
I think I dissociated. I thought you meant I need a ride for the movie. I went
Yeah,
the
no,
other
no, no, no,
direction.
no, no. Yeah,
You went the ride that needs a movie. I
the
see.
ride that needs
That's
a movie.
I misunderstood.
Yes.
That's okay. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So definitely Big Thunder Mountain with.
Well,
The
there's gonna be
Rock.
Ratatouille on Broadway. TikTok, check it out. Ratatouille stuff. It's amazing. The
I'll
musical.
probably pass on that.
Oh, I love Ratatouille. Big Thunder needs The Rock 100%.
Yeah, it
Make
just
it
sounds
Fast and
like
Furious
that.
10. Fast and Furious 10, Big Thunder Mountain. Count me in.
Well, they made those like Journey to Witch Mountain. I don't think that that's
Yeah.
the same thing, and he's in at least one of those. But Big Thunder Mountain, like just using the backstory of what the ride is and like the waiting area, and it's a mountain. There's dinosaur
It sounds
bones.
yeah, that's a Rock movie.
It's yeah. There's TNT. There's gears. It's just put him in a like make like his like make him have like a gumpy sidekick that's like a smart guy, like Sam Neill.
Oh yeah,
Who played,
that'd be good. Sam
Professor
Neill.
Alan Grant.
Sam Neill.
Well, he's coming back for Jurassic Park or Jurassic
That's
World,
good.
the third
World,
one.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I'd like to get more Sam. Well, he was what's his name? He was Odin in Thor Ragnarok.
That's right.
The
He
play as
was.
Loki.
That's
And
right.
I guess he's in the new one too.
He's sneaky.
Yeah, he gets around. Number 2 for me is Expedition Everest. This is a ride at Animal Kingdom in which you travel up Everest and run into a Yeti who then fucks with the track, and then you go back down backwards. So this is a movie that I think needs a lead that is like this feels like a Chris Pine movie to me.
Okay.
I don't know why. He did I think he did a movie where he like Sled Dogs or something.
That makes something like that. You're right.
Yeah.
It was like Sled Dogs.
Yeah. So this feels like a Chris Pine thing. It's like a remarkable story about, somebody that wanted to climb up Mount Everest and they were blind or something. I don't know. Human interest story. Straight to Disney Plus, whatever. The third one is going to star Jack Black, and it's going to be like a pseudo sort of Scooby-Doo, half scary, little bit creepy, but not actually that creepy, like mystery.
Okay.
And it's going to be It's a Small World, because that ride is weird and I don't like it.
Weird. I don't like it at all. It's so weird. It creeps me out. It's too long.
It is so long.
And you're like, why is this? And it's terrifying. Like, if you look at a scale where it's like, if we're reminding Millennium Force and Cedar Point, and you're like Thrill, out of 10, that's like an 8.5.
Right.
Thrill, and then so you have 8.5 Thrill. Scariness, it's a roller coaster, so whatever. It's like a 7.5 scary for me.
Right. It's a Small World.
It's a Small World, 10 out of 10 scary.
Yes.
It creeps me out every time. It's like, I've been there twice, and I was like, the first time I saw it, I was like, this is really weird. And the second time I was like, well, this isn't going to be as weird to me. I've already seen it. And you're like, no, it's weirder because you kind of know what's coming. And it's like, oh God, this is so weird.
This is the first time I've ever ridden it, because it was service the other 2 times that we were there.
It's
and
let me tell gnarly.
You that when we got to like the last room, and I don't know if it's the same out there as it is in Orlando, where the last room before you exit is like white. Yes. Or like a very light blue.
Yeah.
And all the cars stopped. I was like, oh, this is the beginning of a horror movie for me.
Yeah, this is how I die.
This is how I die. Right here.
So I this is a prediction for me, is I see Mission Space here in Disney World. Yes. That's going to be Buzz Lightyear the movie, based off of Buzz Lightyear the movie. Based off of the Toy Story movie.
Oh, we had a great show tonight. I don't know what just happened. Yeah. I don't know. Outside of that, most of them have rides, or they're from something now.
Yeah.
Those are the only.
And now with Marvel too being involved. Yeah, that helps.
Yeah, they're getting ready. It's actually on the Epcot map that they're building a Guardians of the Galaxy thing at Epcot. The issue with Marvel and Disney World is that because there is over at Universal in Orlando, they have like a Marvel Island,
Yeah.
And the characters who either have rides there or appear there, which is Captain America, Spider-Man, Wolverine, I think Cyclops, Storm, Rogue, Doctor Doom, and Green Goblin, cannot appear at Disney World for anything. And then I think there's an Incredible Hulk ride as well, which precludes him from appearing at. But here was my thing was like, and we were talking about this actually at one point, was so Animal Kingdom has a really huge part that's based on Africa, right? Are you going to tell me that if you put a Black Panther roller coaster in that section, that it wouldn't be like, that would be the wait ride? Right there.
Yep.
You know,
that's wait ride.
Have the Dora Milaje come out and do a parade. T'Challa.
He's called Wakanda Forever, and it's a 10-minute roller coaster.
Well, you just call that area Wakanda. That's just what you do.
Yep.
This is what you do. And then that's that. You know, there's a lot of avenues that they can go. You could do.
If they do this, we want the copyrights on it. Okay.
I don't think that's how that works, but
no, it is. I think that is actually exactly how it works.
Do you have any trips lined up? Well,
any trips planned?
You said you had a concert, but any trips?
Concert in March?
Planned?
No, right now it's just, it's just the job life right now. It's working straight through. Nothing major. Nothing too exciting. I'm hoping we'll fly fishing here in Montana during the summer. I'm excited about that. Hopefully I do that. I'm excited. I invited you and Bob Sakamano to come along if you want to do a little 3-day trip out there in Montana. Janie will still be working, so I can have my week. We can go up there. We can fly fish, drink some beers, just hang out in beautiful Montana.
Wow, you just listed 3 things I don't like.
Ooh, you can drink something else. You can drink La Croix and just hang out.
Yeah.
In beautiful Montana. We just hang out, be beautiful up there. Probably a nice 70-degree days, nice water, a little stream
despite
going.
The fact that I was just outside for the last week, I don't like being outside. I'm indoorsy. I'm indoorsy.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you can. I'm not forcing anybody. If I have to do this trip alone, I'll do it alone. I'll just be a man.
What's the Wi-Fi out there?
I hope it's nothing. I honest to God, I hope it's nothing. I hope they're
saying I need to line up. I need to line up some guest hosts. That's what you're saying.
No, I'll play. I can plan it around the trip. That's fine. It won't be a full week.
Cool. All right, let's.
Don't worry about that. I'm in Montana. I'm just gonna be, be living my life. Somehow I'll grow a beard. Write a little.
Happen.
Write some folk
songs. If it hasn't happened yet, it's not gonna happen.
Write some folk songs and figure things out. No, I just want to go fly fishing. It seems like it'd be awesome to do it.
Write your memoirs.
Yeah, write some memoirs. Write a few memoirs, and that's where you figure. I feel like that's where people figure things out.
What are we doing here? Let's be done. We're just rambling at this point. Let's just.
This is this podcast though. I think this is the one where people get to see the inner Brenton and Greg.
I don't know that that's what anybody wants to see. BXG Podcast publishes every Friday and Monday at 9 a.m. on Podbean.
We hug your weekends.
Spotify, Amazon, Google Podcasts, and other podcast services. Catch us on social media, facebook.com/BXG Podcast, Instagram @BXG Podcast, @GT Phils, @Y2B Phils, not Feels, GT Phils. Y2B. Twitter @BXG Podcast, @GT Filson, @Y2B, on our YouTube channel @BXG Podcast. This will be on the YouTube channel. These will be audio only on the YouTube channel. Check out the BXG Awards. Listen to that.
Check them out. Be awesome.
Take care, friends. Enjoy your weekend.
Thanks for listening. Nice strong hug.
There it is. Take care.
There it is. Take care.